Have you ever wanted to explore the world of Irish mythology? Now you can. Powered by the 5th edition of the world's greatest role-playing game, the Heroes of Terra Player's Guide contains 3 new classes, rules for chariot driving, headhunting, curses with meaningful consequences, and many more features, all dedicated to bringing the ancient world of Irish legend to vivid life on the gaming table. Get your copy on drivethrurpg.com today.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
Hey y'all, it's time for Rolling Dice and Taking Names. In this episode, the guys review Rival Cities, Yokohama Duel, Up or Down, Twinkle Twinkle, Uninvited Guest at a Wedding, and more. Plus, what people really want to know. Are Marty and I having another grandbaby? Oh, no. How is Marty's plantar fasciitis? And the answer to the first question is, yes, we are. A granddaughter in February.
Hello and welcome to Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This is episode 360, Rock Out/Punch Somebody. My name is Marty.
I'm Tony.
I'm a big Billy Squier fan, but I did have to look this one up. It was from 89 for some reason. I guess I remember Billy Squier from the early 80s and not the late. Mm-hmm. Touch Me. Mm-hmm. Not Touch Me. Stroke It.
Samantha Fox.
Stroke It. Stroke Me. Stroke Me. That's it. Ooh, it took a while to get there. I got there. Touch Me, Stroke It. It's people are like, what kind of podcast is this again? This is a family-friendly podcast about board games.
Yeah, you know, Samantha Fox had Touch Me.
She did.
But yeah, Billy Squier. So I think it was on my 80s loop or whatever on the radio as I was listening to it, and he came on. And I said, you know what? It has been a while since we may never have done a Billy Squier here. And he was one that, in the 80s, incredibly popular. And then it's kind of like he faded away. And I like you, I really enjoyed his music. Here and Now, which comes off that album. I remember that's probably one of the last albums that I remember from Billy Squier. And it was just, okay. I mean, Stroke Me was the big one, but yeah, Here and Now was a great album. I really enjoyed it.
He has one of my favorite rock Christmas songs.
What is that one?
I was just singing it before I said it. Hold on, Vanessa said it. Christmas is the time to say I love you.
Oh, that's it. He had another album. I didn't realize this in 1998. And I don't know anything. The Pursuit of Happiness, Happy Blues. Christmas is the time to say I love you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man. And then
my favorite from him was Everybody Wants You.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite Billy Squier song. He had a very unique voice, or has a very unique voice.
He's even got some from 2023. Really?
Well,
2009?
You know those people keep trying to come back and recapture their youth.
Okay. Well, fine. Oh, yeah, Billy Squier, kids of the 80s. What can we say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm surprised it's the first Billy Squier song that we've ever done.
I don't know. I'll go out onto our record and find out what we've done because, because I'm sure with a board game we've used Stroke Me.
We probably have. Oh, can y'all tell we don't have a lot in the show notes for the intro section?
Oh, I got plenty to talk about. I got tons to talk about, but it's not for this show.
Oh, okay. What do you mean?
Oh, just things that are going on. It's just an incredible opportunity in today's world. But I will say this. I spent Labor Day down at my daughter's taking care of my granddogs. And I think, I don't know, I'm going to show it. He'll probably put this on YouTube. But on my arm, I got something bit the heck out of me.
Oh, those are bites.
They're either bites or poison ivy, but it showed up on Wednesday. And poison ivy, I may have encountered that on Saturday, but it's on this arm right there and then on this arm in the same location. And I'm thinking she's down in Georgia, that maybe there is chiggers, bugs. And I was thinking maybe while I was in the grass or something that I've disturbed them because, I don't know. Because, man, it was that. But poison ivy, it oozed. So that's why I was thinking it was poison ivy. But poison ivy shows up within 24 to 72 hours. So I've been scratching my arm and all that fun stuff for the past 5 days trying to deal with it.
Put some calamine on it. Benadryl.
I got hydrocortisone. Is that it? Yeah. I've been slathering up nice with the hydrocortisone.
Gotcha.
That stuff, man. Ooh,
that's why I just don't work outside. That's just the best way to avoid this altogether.
Yeah. How's the foot doing?
Let's see. So next week I will be testing. I'll be starting to run next week, and I'll be playing pickleball again next week. So we're going to give it a test, see how well it does. Okay, so interesting story on the whole foot thing. So I go back for a follow-up. I can't remember if we recorded since then. Anyway, so the doctor said, hey, look, we checked. Your insurance will cover inserts. I went, oh, they will? He said, yep. Said, we checked. They'll help cover insurance. I said,
yeah, we talked about a little bit about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he measured my feet, put them into this molding foam, basically, and he says, okay, well, cool. I got a bill today just for the office visit. And I usually, when I get a bill, I'll go out to my insurance website to look at the claim and see how much was paid and all that sort of thing. And I noticed that there was a claim that was denied on August 28th. So I pulled up the claim. The claim was for $1,200 from this foot and ankle place. And I pulled it up and it was like, pre-authorization was not done for this. So I know that's the inserts. I quickly picked up the phone and I called and said, yeah, my insurance just processed. You said this would be covered and had authorization, and I got denied saying I didn't. I could hear it, the little clicking. Mm-hmm. And she comes back and she says, no, I've got an authorization number from the insurance showing right here. And I said, well, right now it's showing as denied. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't paying $1,100 because my understanding was insurance going to cover some of this. So I said, yeah, no insurance. I ain't going to be paying. She says, well, let me resubmit it. So I'm kind of worried now that if they resubmit and they still deny, they better not put me on the hook for $1,100 when they told me that they had authorization.
What are they going to do? Are they going to force you to pay? How are they going to do that?
Well, I mean, they can obviously bill me, and if I don't pay it, they can send that to a collection agency. You know how this stuff can run.
Do you have the inserts?
No.
Then what are they billing you for? Exactly.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, my insurance would pay for inserts that were made in the medieval times, but they would not do with it for now. You freaking United Healthcare, you suck. And $560 later, I have my inserts, but I knew that because I have to have them. Freaking old man feet. Because I'm glad that you have it, because my wife might be one of those people you see with a little knee scooter running around as she tries to figure out, as they may have to go in and operate on her plantar fasciitis.
Oh, it's that bad.
Yeah.
It's been fine. I've been doing everything he said, wearing the stuff in my shoes and all this stuff. I've jogged like a couple tenths of a mile the past couple of days just to see, and it's okay so far. The real test will be pickleball, because I know when I play, I won't be taking it easy. The competitive spirit will come on, and I'll go, he'll be darned.
Remember, don't backpedal, turn around and run.
Do you really need to do that in pickleball?
Okay, as we get in our advanced years, if you backpedal, you tend to fall on your butt more, so you hurt yourself and you'll break a hip.
Fair. That's fair.
So you need to turn around and run. And
I just need to refresh on the rules. Don't get in the kitchen, but after 3 hits, don't have to let it bounce or something stupid like that. Anyway,
close enough. Don't worry about it. Just have fun. Just hit the little ball.
Yeah, they'll just say, "Yeah, you can't do that. It's our point." Okay, whatever. Just hit the ball. Hit the ball. All right. So, couple things real quick. One, I want to talk about a new product that I just got that I'm excited about, and also a game that I checked out that I want to try with the family. I was going to tell you about. So, Arkham Horror RPG. I love the Arkham Horror universe, And if there's going to be an RPG I play, it's the Arkham Horror RPG. They came out this new box set called Terra Antarctic. And I got it sitting here. And this is a beefy box. I mean, it kind of looks like just a game-sized box. But this is a full campaign with everything that you need. The only thing that you need that's not in the box is a set of the core rules. But this thing has 3 huge books that you'll play through. And each one is kind of like its own like mini campaign, and there's different scenes. It's acts. So each one is an act. Each act is broken up into scenes, like 11 scenes, and then there's 3 acts. If you're wanting to GM and don't want to write something, then they got this right here for you. If you don't want to create your own characters, they have these super nice character sheets with everything that's written inside, backstories and everything, including some very famous investigators that I really enjoy. One of them being Mark Harrigan, because he's got a Tommy gun, which is really cool. And the pilot, Winifred Hambamach, which I've actually played in the card game. I've actually used her investigator in the card game. But once again, a little fold-out sheet that has a quick reference guide, which is really cool. So you don't have to know the rules as a player. It's kind of all there for you. They've got 3 punch boards full of tokens that are tokens for NPCs, for players, status tokens. They've got 3 double-sided maps. They've got all the dice that you need, really nice NPC cards that are like linen-based, and cards for the monsters that are linen-based. I've said this before when this came out, and I'll say it again. As a board gamer, this is the system I want to play because it feels most like the board game. For right now, I can go out to Miniature Market, spend $60, which is the same price as a board game. And this is probably going to provide 40-plus hours of RPG content. I don't think I've dropped $60 on a board game recently that I've put 40 hours in. So,
wow, yeah.
I mean, so if you got a good group that you just want to play through a campaign, and as the GM, you got kind of everything done for you. You just bring everybody, sit at the table. And also, like I said, I like it too because it feels like a board game in itself. You got the little tokens that you can put out. So all the pieces and everything and the components feels like a board game, but you're actually playing an RPG. So this is the first big full set they came out with. They had it at Gen Con. Again, if you want to do a full campaign, this is just a good one to jump into. This is the Terra Antarctica. Again, you need this box. If you're going to get it, you get the box, but you also need the core rules, but that's also available in PDF. So technically, you don't have to buy the book if you don't want it. You can just reference it online. So there you go. That is out now.
So when are you going to play it?
Dude, this is one of those things that I would love to have a group where I just sit here weekly and play. That's just tough right now. It's tough to pull off something. I wouldn't mind if it was once a month. I wish I had a group where like once a month you just get together and play, and then this box would last over a year, well over a year. Because like I said, probably each of these individual acts can take 10 to 12 hours each. Phew. So we're talking it would probably be half a year just to get through even one act. So that's what I'm saying. For $60, there's a lot of content in that box.
Okay. Well, good. That's one of those, lock yourself away. Enjoy it, right? Sounds really good. I like the fact that you can, everything's pre-made. I've been watching in our neighborhood, somebody's been running, I'm like, really? There's D&D players in the neighborhood, and they posted it on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've been playing, and some people are like, well, we'd like to join in. And they start talking, and he's like, what are you talking about? Mm. And they say, well, we'll roll a character for you. And they're not really understanding, but something like that is kind of straightforward. They don't have to, level up. They can start afresh because they're always discussing, not arguing, discussing. Hey, what do we want to do here? Who's going to GM? That kind of stuff. This gives you that capability. Right.
Now, you can obviously create your own character and everything, but the beauty of this is you could pick one of the pre-mades if you want and just start from there. So you can just skip that whole character process. And if you're into the lore, a lot of these characters are already there. So they kind of got an established background anyway, which is really slick.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. All right. Well, I believe it or not, I actually got one. I know we haven't, had an opportunity to talk in a while, but I did when we were at Gen Con, we got to see a game called, from Ares called Perfect Mismatch.
Yes. Yep.
So Don and I were playing that. We played it as a 2-player. just to try it out so I could teach her the rules and see what she thought of it. And then we took it over and we played it with 2 other people, 4 people total. And we were playing it, as not competitively, but as a team to see how well we would do.
Okay.
Now, for those of you who've never played Perfect Mismatch, which is probably everybody listening to the show right now, is a game similar to Mind Map. And Marty and I talked about this in our Gen Con episode. And basically what's going to happen, if you think of the game Just One, which everybody listening to the show should have played. If you haven't, what's the freaking wrong with you? Just One, the clue giver has a card that's got 5 items on it, 5 words. Mm-hmm. All right?
Right.
And they have a 5 tokens in front of them. They randomly pick those tokens, and that's what word that they will be giving clues to. Now, they're not talking about clues. They have a board that's in front of them that has 10 total words going down it, and they're matched. Like soft and hard are opposite. Now, these are random, and it's not that easy.
Right.
And in between these words are 6 discs. You're looking at your word and you're saying, well, is it soft? Is it more soft than hard? And you slide the disc over, and you do that for all the words that are listed on that board, the pairs of words.
You mean you can allocate like it's maybe 4 soft, 2 hard. So it's more soft than hard, but not fully soft, that sort of deal.
Right. And one thing you can't do is just leave them in the middle. You have to do allocations. Now, you can allocate them all to one side or all, however you want to do it. And then people have to interpret from that based on the 5 words that they can see, because they can all see it. They can decide, which word is it? How were they thinking? And they put their guesses on a tracking chart. Now, one thing about Perfect Mismatch, I will say this chart that they have where you place your guesses, depending on how you rank them, is the number of points you will score. And later, as you go through the round, like if everybody gets one shot at it, guessing a word, then you see how you scored overall as a group. Now, we did it correctly, therefore we get 5 points or whatever that board is saying at that time. And that's great. Or if, it was not our first guess is wrong, but it was our second, we only get this amount. And then, of course, if the last one, if you were completely wrong, you get no points. So we were playing that, and I will say the first round was hard because they weren't getting into the flow, but by the end, we were getting every one of them right.
Okay? Oh, wow. Cool.
I know. It was like, okay. And where we had trouble at Gen Con, where I was interpreting a word one way and y'all were interpreting it another way, people were actually talking through that and saying, well, could they have meant this? Well, I think if they meant ice cream, it could be a hard scoop or it could be a soft scoop. But he allocated it more towards hard, so it's not the ice cream word. Maybe it's a piece of wood. I don't know.
So you played the competitive, cooperative way. Is there a competitive way?
You can have 2 teams going at it, yes.
Okay, got it.
And remember, whoever puts out their tokens first gets the points as you're playing against one another.
Okay.
And that's how you, and if certain people guess, you'll get a number of points. So, it's a different take on it. Compared to Mind Map, they felt that this was a little bit more straightforward.
Okay. I agree.
All right.
I mean, the mind map, the whole XY axis thing, and basically you've got all of 3D space to work in, as opposed to a linear, 6-0, 3-3, etc. It would be easier to kind of grok.
I know, putting you on the spot. What do you think their number one complaint was in this game?
My number one complaint, because sometimes the words are random, that they're not related at all.
Ding! That was it. This makes no sense. How do I compare these two? The clue giver, I don't know where to go with these because these words don't make sense.
Yeah, like I'm looking at 2 of them like now. If you have the word bouncy and cringe, how do you relate those at all? If it's not bouncy and it's not cringe, then, I mean, did y'all have it to where if it's 3 on either side, it's just balanced, it's neither one or the other? I mean, I don't know how you interpret that either. But
we would do 3 on each side and said, exclude this. And that's what it became.
Okay. Yep.
It's neither bouncing nor is it cringe. So this word doesn't really apply here.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And we even saw that. Yeah. At Gen Con, I noticed that too with a couple of the words. No, that's cool. Maybe when I have a big group together, or we have Booba Q coming up, maybe that might be a good group game for BBQ, like a quick game or something like that.
And I know I also talked about on, I think it was the last show, Up and Down. We played that one with the group of 6, and that just went way too long. I know I talked about that. But those were the recent games that I was able to get to the table. You got anything else before we jump into our reviews?
I do have one more. Monster Pit. Now, Monster Pit is a game that plays up to 5 players. It's mainly a co-op game where you're working together to try to kill a monster. You could have it to where it could be one person plays as the monster, makes decisions for it, and everybody's just playing against it. To me, at first I thought it was a tower defense game, but it's not really, because there's not like a lot of monsters coming in. There's this one that's trying to get all the way to the end of the path. If you don't kill the monster by the time it gets to the end of the path in the village, you lose. If you kill it before it gets to the end of the path, you win. So I thought, hey, co-op, I can easily teach this to whatever like that. So, okay, turns are pretty straightforward. You have you start out with a couple cards of some characters on your play board, and they tell you how many dice you're going to roll at the beginning of your turn. You roll those dice. Those dice can give you gold or cause the monster to move, which is bad. But if it gives you gold, fantastic, because in the next phase, you take tokens, worker tokens, to go and put out into the village and to take certain actions. For example, you might want to do an attack against the monster. And that's based on characters that you have on your board. Some are for attack, or some for defense. Or if you want to get some more characters, you can go to one spot on the board, a village on the board, to spend gold to buy more characters to put on your board that also give you additional dice to roll. But the more dice you roll, the better chance you're going to force the monster to move. And then after it's all said and done, the monster actually activates, and he has a pool of dice, and it changes over the course of the game. And when you roll it, you're going to resolve it. There's a table that says, based on the number that you rolled with these dice, you're going to do this. The monster moves, the monster attacks you, or whatever like that. So there's a whole table that you run for the monster itself. Rinse and repeat, basically, until the game is over. So I thought, okay, we got this. Here's the problem we ran into with new gamers. There's like 15 to 17 different villages to put your workers. There's a player guide, but it's kind of hard to keep track to what does what. You can kind of possibly work out some combos by going here, then going here, then going here. But for non-gamers like my family, it just didn't work out that well. And then when the game sits on the table with 4 players for over an hour, it was tough. It was tough for them. Also with 4 players, it is a massive table hog. The player boards are huge, and the board in the middle is huge. So it's one of those things, if you want to play, you better have a lot of space. So it's probably not the best game to teach to new gamers. Overall, I think it's okay. It's to me, it's like an average game. And if somebody saw this and was interested in it, I mean, the art is really good. The art is from Kawachi Moria, who is very famous, does a lot of stuff, and you could tell his art style is really cool. So it looks really good. It's kind of a fantasy theme, etc. For me, it's one of those, it's like, if you're interested in it, you might want to try before you buy to see if it's just one of those things that you can just understand after a while. The rule book needed some tweaks. We kept having to look up some rules about how some stuff works like that. But again, I probably picked the wrong game to introduce to non-gamers sort of deal. So maybe regular gamers would pick up on it more. I don't know that I would bring it for you to learn to play or play with you, because it's just kind of it's an all right game, sort of deal. So my suggestion is, if you see it and you're interested, see if you can play it first before you buy it.
Okay. All right. Monster Pit. And that was by who? I'm sorry?
That's by Elzra, Elzra, who also made another game that was like a dexterity game. It was called Catacombs. And so people thought this was going to be something like that, like some sort of dexterity game, but it's not. It's strictly a dice roll and get resources, send out your workers, work together to defeat the monsters sort of deal.
Okay. Now, I know in our future, I was gone for Labor Day, and I know in a future episode, we're going to be talking about a hot game. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to tease a little bit here that seeing all these images from it, it looks really cool. And this is Fate of the Fellowship. Is that right?
Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship. Yes.
We've got some ring race flying around on this board and stuff like that. It looks pretty darn freaking cool. I'm excited. I'm glad you've played it with Bert and Mark, so y'all know the rules. Yep. So this will be a quick learn for me. I'm excited for that. So I can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. Some timing messed up for us. We was hoping to possibly get it in this episode, but it didn't happen. So the plan is next episode, along with, I think we're going to, let's go ahead and tease it. I think we're going to do Builders of Baldur's Gate and Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship. I can't wait for you to play. As a Pandemic fan, you're going to pick up the rules instantly. Now, I will warn you, I'm just going to drop a warning right here. With 4 players, this is easily a 2+ hour game. Easily. If we're doing good, or it could end in 30 minutes. Pandemic
was the same way.
Okay. All right. So you know what you're kind of walking into.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, Pandemic, if it went over an hour, you were really not playing well. Mm-hmm. Here it sounds like this game it's going to require you to have strategy and talk here versus, let's face it, Pandemic, amazing game. Great game. But if you were to put it on the table now, you would say, this is kind of outdated,
Yeah. But this is going to feel very familiar with you in that you got 4 actions you take on your turn. You draw and resolve a card that does nasty things to you, this sort of. There's the concept. I'm getting way too deep into this. Just say this. There's the epidemic card is a different type of card in the deck, which causes you to shuffle the discard pile, put it back on top. So all that's there. So it's going to feel very familiar to you. But the theme to me really, really comes through. And I also actually want to paint the wraiths. I actually want to try priming those things and put some highlights on and stuff and kind of gray them up and get them painted up well.
Okay. Who's the dispatcher? Frodo, Sam?
So they've really broken all that. So there are a lot of different characters in the game, and every character has its own special ability. And in fact, next week when we play, they say randomly deal out the characters. We might want to look through and go, because you play as 2. Everybody plays as 2 characters. Oh. So we might decide, hey, these 2 will pair up really well. Let's put these 2 together, sort of deal. The goal is always Frodo has to get to Mount Doom to destroy the ring, but you always have 3 random objectives that you have to do before you do that. So there's a lot of replayability. Okay. Way too much in depth right now. We'll get to it next episode, but I'm glad you're excited.
It's a teaser.
Yeah.
We're teasing.
Yeah.
We're teasing.
Yeah. It is a tease, but we got some great games to talk about in this episode, including 2 2-player Euro games, plus a couple quick games.
Hence, rock out, punch somebody, 2-player, baby.
All right, over at Miniature Market, where don't forget you can go to our website, rolldicetakenames.com, and click on our affiliate link. People are still clicking on that. We really appreciate it because it shows some visits going over to their site to be able to do things like pre-order. Some games are going to be coming out at Essen in October. That's just 1 month away. I'm starting to see a lot of different things. Y'all have seen like a list of games going to be coming out. People are getting excited about it. And pretty soon those pre-orders are going to start popping up. On Miniature Market, their daily deal is back, which comes out every day at 10 a.m. Central Time. So you want to kind of see what deals they got. They got their backroom deals. They're always still popping off. So there seems like there's always something going on over there. And in fact, they have the YouTube channel where they play games. In fact, Tony, they just released a video where they played Age of Galaxy from Portal Games, which we played. So giving it a little bit of promotion because Age of Galaxy is now in stock over there at Miniature Market, and you can always get good deals on the shipping and the free shipping. So head over to miniaturemarket.com.
One of the things that if you've listened to the show, you know that Marty and he may have, I did not get an opportunity to play Yokohama when it first came out by TMG. All right. Mm-hmm. So little did I know that they also came out in 2018 with Yokohama Duel, which is being re-released by Synapses Games. Now, I didn't know anything about this. Did you, Marty?
I didn't. So I said, a new game. And Danny from Luma said, no. It's an older game that was been re-released. I went, oh, okay. So we just totally missed it. Now, you and I have covered the latest Yokohama. Mm-hmm. I think we covered it last year. That's the game where you have the different locations and there's pathing with your workers to be able to move between the 2 locations. It didn't really float your boat.
No.
I remember you didn't care. I kind of liked it, but so you didn't care for it. So I was really curious to see how this 2-player, maybe 30 to 45 minute version of the game would go over for you. Now, one of the things that is totally gone is this whole pathing thing. Basically, you just got a board with these buildings, and you're going to place your worker cards, again in quotes, in order to take actions on the board.
Right. And I don't remember enough about Yokohama to be able to relate the two. These worker cards have various powers. And when you play these workers, they have to go down from least power to most powerful. And so you're alternating back and forth. And once a worker is in a particular spot, in a production spot, or the port city, or one of the locations on the board, then you may then gather based on the power of your worker. And I don't remember that from Yokohama, but this was not a problem for me. I kind of like that, actually.
I did too, because you couldn't jump far ahead. So, for example, there's typical type of resource gathering. There's tea, fish, and silk and copper that you can gather, and the more powerful card that you play, the more that you're going to get. You also have these contract cards that you can go to another location and get those, and that's kind of where you get your points. If you turn in a certain number of resources this contract has, you can turn that in. That's going to be worth victory points at the end of the game. So if I'm looking at this contract card, Tony, it says this needs 2 fish. And I don't have 2 fish. And the first card I play right now is a level 1. Well, the level 1 on the fish only gives me 1. I want the one that's number 2, but I can't play it yet. So I'm hoping that if Tony doesn't take it, I can, because I may not have a higher level card to go and get more fish later on, or I may need a higher level card later. So I kind of like that back and forth, because once somebody takes a spot, you can't go there again. It's covered. So if you take the 2 spot, I can't take it next turn.
Right. Unless you have a special card that allows you to do that.
Right.
Also, when you eventually, as you're going back and forth playing these, when you eventually get to a level 4 power or level 5 power, you have the ability to place out either a shop. Everybody may place 1 shop on each location, but only one person can put out a trade house. And trade houses give you the ability, they're going to add, these shops and these trade houses add to the power of your worker there. So it's very important to put it out there. If you put out a level 5, or your power is greater than level 5, you then get to collect from a bonus card at the top of the board that allows you, or bottom of the board, depending on how you lay it out, you get additional resources or whatever from those cards. So that's another reason. Oh, and did I even mention the fact that after you can power these guys up with special cards that you may collect? And then there's these guys in the shadows, these agents that can come out when you collect, I don't know, maybe 3 contracts. I filled 3 contracts. Oh, he's a secret agent. He's a spy. I don't know if he is, but that's the way I looked at him.
Yeah, so what these cards are is basically an extra worker that you can use on a future turn, a level 4. And there's also a +1 and +2 modifiers that you can add to your cards. And lots of these are given through the awards on the contracts, or those cards at the top when you get 5+. So let's say I really need a level 4 and don't have it, but I have a +1. I can play my level 3, the +1 on top of it, make it a level 4 to get what I want. Now, the other buildings around there are also very common to the regular game. There's one for exchanging rates. There's one that gives you the gold or the copper that you're going to need to spend in order to couple things. You're going to spend the copper to upgrade your guys, because at the end of a round, you can upgrade one of your level. You could take a 1 to a 2, a 2 to a 3, 3 to a 4, but you can only do one of those, and it costs you money in order to flip those over to the other side to make those powerful. So that's how you get your more powerful workers over the course of the game. And there's also a church at the bottom for collecting church cards and their faith values, which was also from the base game. And that's just another way of potentially, if your faith power is high enough, you get a special reward that is set out at the beginning of the game. There's a card at the bottom that you can claim. Hey, if you get your faith up to level 8, you can take this and get one of those agent cards.
Yeah, or if you collect 2 churches, you get an agent card. So, I mean, lot of stuff that you can be doing here. You're not going to be able to accomplish all of it. I mean, they gave us 8 houses. There's no way I'm getting 8 houses on this board, right?
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Especially when we only play in 4 rounds.
Yeah.
So it goes pretty quick. You start out with just 4 people that place on the board. So you just pop them back and forth. And beginning of the round, you reset your stuff and go again. So it moves pretty fast. But for me, I think the same thing. The appeal of this game is I love how the workers are placed on the board. You have to start with the lowest. And that's the little twist that really you have to kind of work your way around of, well, I got to play something this turn. What should I place now? But knowing that it's this worker right here that's power 3 that I really need to go over to that particular building this round.
Right. And at the end of the round, do I really want to spend a lot to power this guy up, or do I want to just have a few others? I mean, a lot of strategy goes into this. Funniest thing, go ahead and tell on ourselves here, is there's a building where you can take your import goods that you can get, little boxes, and you can flip them over. Marty and I are like, why? Why do you want to do this? And it took us forever, and there's various cards, there's extra victory points, so we finally figured that out. We were baffled at first. That was just funny.
Yeah, so once we started playing the game, we realized that flipped over crates are actually worth points at the end of the game, which is kind of how I won, because I was working to get those little crates flipped over, and if I did, there were just extra points at the end of the game.
You won because you're a better player. Let's just admit. Now, thank goodness there is an app that lets you score this, because at the end of the game, there's a lot of scoring going on. Not too tedious, not too taxing, but so you kind of don't know if you're in it or out of it.
Well, the app was on the BG stats.
That's right. I'm sorry, BG.
There was a sheet on BG stats that we used to score.
Right.
But yeah, so at the very end of the game, you're going to count. There's a lot, like you said, completed order cards, bonuses. There's technology cards. The church cards give you points. The trading houses are worth 5 points at the end of the game, 1 point for each shop. So there's a whole list of things, a litany of things that you go through to kind of your final score. So to me, this is it's very much a Euro game, but it's definitely more probably on the lighter side. I would say it's between light and midweight. It's not super, super light, but it's not really a midweight game either.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about this game is randomness that comes into a game, but you got to play for it. You got to plan for it. And I didn't realize this is I had 2 very high value contracts, and they were, and I had them sitting there. So I wasn't completing them because I had to be able to get a lot of resources for that. And I didn't realize that, that the values of between the contracts, and you can look through them. Like I had 2 7s or whatever it was. It was just like, why is Marty completing all these contracts and I'm not? Yours were a little bit different, but when I did complete them, lots of victory points. So random draw on the contracts is one of those things. Deal with it, not a problem, but it's one of those things you need to understand or explain to your people or the other person that's you're going head to head against that, hey, you may want to pay attention to this. You may want to have some different values here if you have all these high values. Yeah, it was a fun little 2-player game.
Yeah, it is. It's a small box game. And again, if you're looking for just a little 2-player Euro that's not too involved, I think you could teach a lot of people this, then Yokohama Duel would be a good option. And if you like the base game, it doesn't play like the base game because that pathing was a really big deal in the base game. But a lot of the trade houses or the buildings that you go to work the same way, so there will be a familiarity with it there.
That's Yokohama Duel from Synapsis Games, distributed by Luma.
5-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
Another was a hot game at Gen Con, whether people realized it or not, because it was one that we got to play early, is Up or Down, designed by Kiesling and Kramer, published by Capstone Games. Simple card game. Object is to get your elevators to go up or down and then visit as many floors as you can without breaking them. And in doing so, score points. And guess how you score points? It's based by the colors of the cards. Number of one color in your elevator times the number of floors you visited will get you points. You have the option. You can have 3 elevators in your tableau. On your turn, you are going to place a card in the center in between 2 cards that your floor meets. So for instance, this was the hard thing for me to explain, Marty, to some people. If there's a 25 on the table and a 5 on the table and you have an 18, you put it between that and you may take either the 25 or the 5.
I understand that.
Pretty simple. Then you take that card, don't put it in your hand. I had to slap some hands when we were playing with some friends. No, you place it on your elevator. Depending on which way your elevator is going. If you pick the 25, maybe you want it to go up. So the card that's below it better be less than the 25. If the card above it is greater than the 25, then it's going down. Then you draw from either a face-up deck or a face-down deck. That goes into your hand. Next player goes. You keep playing until all the cards have been played except for 6 in the middle. That's it. Tally up some scores. You're done.
So the goal of the game is actually try to get not only the longest elevator that you can with as many cards in play, but you want as many of the same color. So you're always going after colors. When you're calculating points, the values on the cards don't matter anymore. It's literally just the number of cards in the elevator times whichever color has the most cards in it, and you calculate points. Now, you can finish with an elevator, like I said, turn it face down, push it off to the side, and start a new elevator if you want. I think the interesting thing in this game, Tony, is when you draw a card into your hand, it's like, this is perfect for my elevator. No, you can't go straight to your elevator. It's got to go from your hand to the table. So then you try to work out, is there a way I can get this from my hand to the table, hope that it lasts back to me one more round, and then play another card out of my hand that's beside it, either higher than or less than it, that would allow me to grab it.
And that's what was one of the hardest things for everybody to understand. Oh, my wife. Oh, she says, it doesn't matter which way the cards are. I'm like, it's very important which way the cards are.
What do you mean the cards are?
The cards are laid out on the table. I don't know if that elevator is going up or down. I have no idea what you're doing. And she was like, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, it does. And then they had the car. Oh, I was so confused. But I will say this about the game. I really enjoy playing the game. But what I didn't enjoy was the fact that with 6 people, it took a while to play. We even played the short game. So I do not recommend this for 6 people.
We played with 5 at Gen Con, something like that. I think with 5 or 6 people, the chances of you doing what I said earlier about putting a card down, hope it comes back to you is pretty slim. So I do think 4 may be the sweet spot, possibly. Well, you're still playing through an entire deck, though. You can just make bigger elevators at that point. But still, I mean, it does say it's a 2 to 6 players, 30 minutes. So you're saying 6 took longer than 30?
And then it should have. Just a little bit longer on the table. Maybe people were thinking about it way too much. I enjoyed the suspense it brought because the board kept completely changing by the time it got to me. So I think that was pretty wild.
I do think this is one of those very easy games to teach. Very much a family weight game, like Flip 7-ish sort of deal. Maybe a little bit more than Flip 7-ish. But still, it's literally just draw a card in hand and put it on your table. The scoring is very easy to understand. It's very easy to explain how that count the number of colors in an elevator, whichever one has the most. That's going to be your multiplier times number of cards. That's straightforward. So explaining the rules is really quick. I enjoy the game too. Kiesling and Kramer, I tend to like their light games like this, and this is another one that I really like.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I will say one of the things you can do is you can always shut down an elevator if you don't like where it's going. And when
that's what I said earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, shut it down. Get a victory point for every card. That was one of the things people would agonize over.
Oh, I didn't say that part. If you shut down an elevator and turn it face down, you don't score that at the end. It's just times number of cards in that elevator. And the reason why you might want to do that is because maybe it's gotten to the point where you're trying to build up and you've hit like 96 or 97 on an elevator, and there's only 99 cards. So it's like, just shut down the elevator and start a new one.
So yeah, great game. Up or down, Capstone, Kiesling, Kramer. Pick this one up. Fast playing game. 4 or 5. Great game. 2, by the way, played with 2. Boring.
Okay. So definitely more the better, but not max.
Right. That's my personal opinion.
5-minute initiative is complete.
Head over to shopportalgames.com where you can pick up his newest games, Age of the Galaxy. Hey, you never do know. There may be cheap price on that game over there. Matter of fact, I know there's going to be because I'm on the website right now. You can read all about it. Read the rule book. Get your order in because Ignacy will take care of you when it comes to his games. We're all looking forward to Bohemians coming out at Essen. Go ahead and get that pre-order in. Or better yet, maybe you're missing a few things. Maybe you are missing some Robinson collectible stuff. You know, if you head over there, you can say, okay, what are you talking about, McCree? What do I need to do? There's website exclusives where there are mats that you can still get for Robinson Crusoe. You can order a mat. You can order various Hiroshima Hex games, armies such as Merchant's Guild. It's on sale for $8 right now. Death Breath, Dancer, Iron Gang, all that can be found over there. Get you a Hiroshima Hex mat. one of those games that, we talk about 2-player games here on Rolling Dice. That's still, Marty and I, it's one of our favorite games to play. I wish we could get to play it more. Matter of fact, when we get old in a retirement community, we're going to be doing that game because there's no reading, there's no text that's too small for us. That's at shopportalgames.com.
Tony, you and I have been getting into a lot of 2-player games recently, but the 2-player games that we play are typically like a head-to-head. That's
Are they? Are they really head-to-head?
But they're more of like a combat, almost like fighting each other sort of thing, and not really a Euro-style game. Well, the game we got from Gen Con that we're excited to try is Rival Cities. This is from Deep Print Games and Pegasus Spiel by designer Andreas Stedding, who may sound familiar because he also did Hansa Teutonica, which is an extremely popular game back from 2009. And a lot of people want to play this game just because of that game. It's got a real history to that one. We played it at the airport in Indianapolis, kind of get our feel for the game. We played it once and we go, okay, now we see how this game works. We played it again this past week for game night. And I will say personally for me, this has now risen up to a potential 2-player game of the year of 2025 for me. I really liked it that much.
All right. Well, for me, the first time we played it in air quotes, I don't know if I played it, it fell flat for me at the beginning. Next play, I got a lot better. I was beginning to understand the board, the strategy, things like that. Because I was like, okay, is all this game going to be a race to do one particular thing to win, which there aren't just one way to win. There's multiple ways to win.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was like, okay, we need to keep trying at this, keep putting pressure on one. That to me is the one thing about this game that stood out. There is a constant pressure in multiple parts of the board due to all these numerous ways to win. And I really like that.
So Rival Cities is based in historical theme. There was Hamburg, who was a big port city, and there was another city nearby called Altona. What they did was they had a competition against each other. Both of them wanted to be the main big city, the port city of their time. And they fought each other by trying to get a lot of trade ships to their port, or having influence or from other cities that were around them. They actually had lawsuits against each other. And all this comes into play because each of those conditions are actually victory conditions within this game. Historically, what happened was Altona was actually merged into Hamburg and it became one huge city. That was the result of that. But during this time, they were fighting each other. So that's kind of the goal of the game. Now, Tony, you and I typically like rondel type action games, and this has a rondel feel to it because the board has random action cards placed around spots, and you're going to have an inkwell marker, a little wooden token, that when you move it, you'll take the action of wherever you land. You can move as far as you want, but the first 2 spots are free. The 3rd and 4th spot will cost you a resource. Anything after that costs you 2 resources to get to that thing that you want. Now, a common thing in this game is, in very Euro fashion, is there's several different resources for you to collect to use for other things. There's chests and barrels and linen that you can collect over time to spend to help you either collect ships, get the influence of a city, or actually win lawsuits.
Now, where the strategy comes into this game, or what the thought process for me is, all right, I know I got to move 1 or 2, but I need to make sure that Marty does not get that one thing next. Or how do I block Marty? That's the, whatever I'm doing is fine. Eventually I'll make it, but I need to make sure I don't give him the game by just blindly going, I'm just going to move 1. I'm just going to move 1. That's where this game also stood out to me is you need to really be thinking about jumping ahead, not just going 1, gathering stuff and then converting it. That's the game. How do I keep you from achieving the goal? How do I keep you from swaying the jury to let you win a lawsuit? Because if you win 3 lawsuits, you win the game. Or if you happen to get more ships than me, 3 or more ships than me, you win the game. I need to be taking a look at that.
It's instantly. Like the game just stops. Game and over. Yep.
Boom. Or better yet, maybe you get more. I think it wasn't called favor, but the love of the city that you're on, that you've gotten more social sway.
Yeah, so there's also a track on the board, and one of the actions is you can move a token between the two cities, and if you can get all the way to the end of the track at your city, that's also an automatic win.
All these conditions you've got to be paying attention to. There is in-game triggers that then if we don't beat one another with one of those other conditions, then it's the total number of stars that you've collected, which can be found on the city favor or on the ships, or that you can collect throughout the game.
Or lawsuits.
Absolutely. I mean, wow. Keeping track of this.
Yeah, so I will think some of the things are really interesting. So the ship's pretty easy. You can land on an action that allows you to purchase a ship. The ship will say, they'll cost this many resources to get it. If you get it, there may be a bonus to it. Maybe it's worth a lot of stars or a little ongoing ability. The favor cards are interesting in that there's only 4 of them. And if you ever own all 4 of those city favor cards, that's also an instant win, but you can steal those from each other. There's a certain action on the board that allows you to do that. I think the lawsuits are the most interesting. There's 3 lawsuits that's put in play. And at the end of the round, one of the things you're going to do is resolve the very first lawsuit. There's a little token on there that one of the actions is to adjust that token towards your city. And you do that, the lawsuit will have some sort of, you must pay 2 linen or whatever. If you do, you get to move the little token towards your side. And if you get it far enough on your side, when the lawsuit resolves, you will win that case and take it over to your side. And you also get a little bonus of doing that. To me, that's really one of the more interesting mechanics because you're fighting for these lawsuits. And one of the things you can actually do, one of the actions is allow you to swap it. Mm-hmm. So if there's a lawsuit I'm getting ready to lose, and I did this in our second game, I landed on the action that let me swap the first lawsuit and the second lawsuit. So that's not the one that would resolve at the end of the round. And a round occurs when the Inkwell token makes one loop around the board.
Right. Now, when he did that, he had to sacrifice another action at that time. It could have been maybe getting some resources or something. Mm-hmm. So by putting pressure on Marty at that time, he's like, oh man, I can swap. But if this thing gets any farther, there's no chance, based on how the cards are out, I cannot sway the jury. Therefore, Tony's going to win this and he's going to get some special bonuses. I don't want that to happen. Putting pressure on various aspects of the game keep us honest on how we have to spend your resources. I will say that the city favors have the ability to get additional resources when you produce or gift them. Those are pretty powerful. Ships also provide that if you can find them. Mm-hmm. That may be my one knock to this, is if someone is able to garner all those items or have multiples of those, yeah, they're going to kind of run away with it a little bit. It just seemed like I was doing it in the second game. You were doing it in the first game. It just seemed like it was kind of hard to catch up at that time.
Yeah, because one of them was always like produce an extra linen whenever you get linen. So we just went linen heavy, and then we're trying to do lawsuits or buy ships that required that linen.
Right.
Because we had so much of it. Yeah, there's also interesting, too, to make the game different. Like I said, these action cards are randomly put out around the board. There's also a stack of special action cards, and there's spots for that around the board that'll be replaced each turn. So every action stays in place except for those special action cards. They get swapped out every round. They're really powerful, and one of these standard actions you could do is draw one of those into your hand. And when you move and land on action, instead of taking the action of where you land, you could play the special action card from your hand and use it.
Overall, yeah, this will be one of those games for me that while we're waiting on people, we got this little, we should put together a little, hey, while we're waiting on people bag and carry that in and be able to play these before the next big game comes off. This is not one of those fast playing games that you can wait for another game to finish. No, it can drag a little bit. I mean,
45 minutes, maybe,
but when I think about that, I'm thinking about 15, 20, 30 minutes max for those types of games. But for this,
for the in-between games. Yeah, I'm thinking just how long it took us. It's depending on whether it's a mid-game stop, like immediate scoring or going all the way to the end, it's probably going to be 30 to 45 minutes, which again, for a kind of a little meaty Euro in a small box in 30 to 45 minutes, that's what really appealed to me. It's like I get the feel of a crunchy little Euro in a very short time.
Yeah, me too. Enjoyed it. Glad we were able to get this one played and on the table and look forward to it coming again. Do you have any final thoughts on this?
right now, when I look at a lot of the 2-player games we played, this is kind of rising to the top of some of the best I've played this year. I just haven't played a really good, solid 2-player Euro like this that gives me all the little feelings of a standard Euro that I like. Resource management, multiple paths to victory, and the rondel action selection, which I really like too. This is Rival Cities from Pegasus Spiel.
5-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
From All Play comes a tile-laying game called Twinkle Twinkle, designed by Amon Anderson. We're stargazing here, people. We're looking up into the stars, twinkle, twinkle, little star, and we're trying to build the best constellations. We're trying to get some planets on our board, surround some comics with some stars. Watch out for those black holes. And there's all these expansions that can be added in. This is a straightforward tile-laying game that accomplishes those very tasks that will get you the most points. Beautiful production, straightforward rules. I mean, Marty, this was one of those that when, I first laid it on the table for Donna, she's like, okay, what are we doing here? And she's like, oh, I understand this without you even telling me what to do. I went, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So it's draft. So each round you're going to draft available tiles off a board and place them on your tableau. What's cool though, you talked about production. All the tiles are clear acrylic with some sort of symbol on it, stars, planets, etc., like that you said. So it looks really, really nice on the table. The acrylic tiles are fun to play with, and you put them down. You're going to be placing 16 tiles on your board. Once everybody's done that, you're going to go through and count up points. But Tony, I also like the variability from each game. So you mentioned there's these expansions and stuff. So you're going to pick basically 5 scoring tiles for everybody to use every game. And depending on which ones you pick, they'll score differently. You mentioned stars or satellites, planets, etc. And each one has their own little scoring rule. What I like about this means every time you play the game, there's going to be some variability to it so that you're not playing the exact same way every time. There is hate drafting, 100%. When you and I played, I noticed you was going after comments, and the more comments you get in a row, the more points you get. So I purposely drafted a comment and to stop you from getting it. And I also like too that the board, there's a market left to right, and you're going to place your worker which one you want to draft. If you draft the furthest to the left, you get to be first player next turn. If you draft the furthest to the right, you'll be the last player in the next turn. So sometimes you may draft something you're not really crazy about, but you want to go first because you also have another row below that showing you what tiles are getting ready to come up to be drafted.
Mm-hmm. Would you say this is a fairly light game?
100%.
Yeah.
We've played other games like this that had this similar feel, but they're writing on the board where you're trying to make certain things on the board, but I can't remember the name of the game that we played. But it was the same sort of deal where you got stars on the board and you had a little marker that you wrote on the board to be able to do things to score. I like this one a lot better. I just don't like dry erase type games anymore. I really don't. I like any sort of drafting. I just love that play, and it plays super fast, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And one of the things with the 2-player, which is how you and I played and how Don and I played, is you get to be 2 characters, so you're drafting 2 tiles. So that was, instead of us going back and forth, great. I'm glad they put that in there. I don't know of any games with 2-player that will sometimes do that, but I like that. It made the game go very fast, and it actually provided a lot more strategy in a 2-player game. It's how to do that. Oh man, Marty's going to go here and he's going to get first and second, and I see what tiles are coming. This sucks.
Yeah.
There's the alien expansion, and then in the Wandering, there's like you had rocket ships, moons, green clovers, blue diamonds. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and again, everyone scores differently. Also, you're talking about production. I love that whichever tiles you're going to use for scoring, there are these nice cardboard pieces that you just set right beside your board. Mm-hmm. So instead of looking at the middle of the table at what's going to store, you basically have a reference sheet right beside your tableau that you can look at the entire time, which is nice too. Production wise, just top notch.
Oh, and at the end of the game, you got the various scoring that can be done. And there's a dry erase score map. So I was like, okay, this worked out really well. So I could just easily mark it all down. I didn't have to paper or whatever, just erase it.
I wonder if there's going to be an app on BG Stats, and if not, there will be soon, which will make the scoring a lot easier. Mm-hmm. So yeah, at the very end of the game, basically you just go through each of the scoring tiles and score your tableau individually. And then throw all the acrylic tokens back in the bag, put it in the box, and just ready for the next game.
Yeah, one of the things I did like about this, they said with the expansions, just put the stars in the game, in the bag, and then keep all the other stuff in a separate expansion.
There's always one type of tile that will always be in the bag, the stars. Got it.
Yes. So I was like, okay, this is pretty good. So that is Twinkle Twinkle from All Play.
5-minute initiative is complete.
Wow, I just went over to website GameToppersLLC.com, and there's been a website redesign. This is this is much easier to navigate. This looks good.
Hold on. Let me get over there.
Put the thing up over at GameToppersLLC.com. Check that out. That looks nice. It's got everything laid out. Got a products page for the Game Toppers, the premium mats, the wargaming mats, the accessories, the storage solutions, assembly and service. You got contact. You can, you can still late pledge to his last Kickstarter. It was over 800% funded with 20 stretch goals unlocked with his slogan, "One table to rule them all." Lord of the Rings theme there. Yeah, no. Wow, the website looks great. Great job. It's much easier to navigate and use. So y'all need to check this out. GameToppersLLC.com. So now you can easily scroll around and look at all his tabletop solutions for storage. Look at his Game Topper solutions for putting on top of your table and creating a nice play surface. You could check out all the mats. Again, that's GameToppersLLC.com. Nice job, Berkey.
5-minute initiative begins in 3, 2, 1.
At Gen Con, we are always looking for some uniques to play and try out. There was a booth there from a company called Mosaic Games, which is an Indian company that had a lot of Indian-themed and Indian-designed games that, Tony, you and I were very interested in. Mm-hmm. One of them was a card game that we kind of teased when we talked about this. It's called Uninvited Guest at a Wedding. This is from designer Falgun Popali, and this is a game that plays 2 to 8 players. It's 20 to 30 minutes, but I love the theme of this, Tony. I'm just going to read the blurb of this in the rules. You and your gang weren't invited to the big Indian wedding, but the buffet was calling, the DJ was fire, and somebody had to photobomb the selfies. You danced like no one was watching among thousands of guests. You raided the snack counter, and you devoured the buffet, but now there's evidence, photos. Suspicious aunties are watching your every move, and now the family's on high alert, ready to unmask the wedding crashers. Time to cover your tracks, pin the blame on your friends, and make a clean escape. What was interesting when we talked to the guy at the booth, he said, this 100% happens. Weddings are a huge event in India, and people will crash the party.
Absolutely. They're all there. So it's one of the things. It's part of the fun. Mm-hmm. But I mean, when you have thousands of guests, 200 guests. Shoot, I couldn't even tell you at my daughter's wedding, which only had like 70 guests, if anybody were crashers. She knew, but I wouldn't have known. So you're absolutely right. I could just see this. So when this was pitched, I was like, okay, this is a very light game, fun game, and it sounded like, this should be simple mechanics as you're trying to undercover each other. It's
a deduction game. Each of you are given a character that you represent, and that your character is going to be in these photos. It's a deck of cards, and you deal out 8 cards on the table. And on your turn, you can claim one of those cards and put it in front of you. Your goal is to get rid of the evidence, get rid of pictures that have you in it. The thing is, though, as you start claiming these cards, people may start to pick up, wait a minute, I think I know which character you are. So instead of claiming a card, you could also say, I'm going to make an accusation on who you think you are. There's another stack of cards where you hand them a card and you say, are you this person? And they'll look at it. If they were right and the accuser is correct, you knock the other person out of the game and you claim their personality card, which awards points at the end. If you make an incorrect guess, you are out of the game for the rest of the game. So you don't have to necessarily on your turn claim a picture that has your picture on it. You could bluff. But at the end of the game, when you score points, and everybody scores points regardless of whether you were knocked out or not, any photo cards that you have that doesn't have your character in it is worth -1 point.
Right. So that's where you're trying to throw people off. Take cards without you. So you got to remember that's part of the negative points of this game that can hurt you at the end. So even if you get player eliminated early, who knows? You might be able to survive. Now, there is this countdown mechanism to it that certain round, then all of a sudden cards will start being flipped over that will tell you to do certain actions. I mean, Marty, I forget what a lot of these were, but I thought it was like remove certain cards or what were some of those actions that came in?
So I taught this to my family over Labor Day weekend. Some of those were basically you have to remove a 1-point card or maybe remove a 3-point card, or we're skipping around, so this game's going to finish quicker than what you think it's going to be. So it's there's a whole deck of these, and you just only use a certain number. So you're only going to go. I shortened it. You can shorten the game. It goes like 11 rounds. I shortened it to 10 because with more people, it can last a little bit. And if there's player elimination, those people just sitting there watching. But like I said, I do appreciate at the end, if you were eliminated, you still could do well because actually my sister won, but she was eliminated. Somebody determined who she was, but she had collected enough of the 3-point cards in order to win. Now, what's interesting is the 3-point photo cards only have 2 characters in it. The 1-point photo cards have 4 characters in it. So it's harder to deduce if you claim the 1-point cards, but it's worth more points if you get the 3. So everybody enjoyed it, but all of them had one issue with it. It was hard to distinguish the different characters because I said, look at the clothes they're wearing. Some of the people had almost the same type of clothes, like a bluish jacket and a white shirt. And everybody has dark hair, so it's hard to tell who was who. When my sister accused me of who I was, it took her like 45 seconds to verify which one she wanted to say because 2 of them looked really close together, the way the art was done on it. For them, a negative was it just wasn't enough differentiation between the characters themselves. I'm
fine with that because I think from our standpoint, when we played it, it was somewhat similar. It was like, okay, which one was that? Wait a minute, am I picking the right one? I will admit, maybe that's part of the game, part of the fun of the game, so that if there's too much difference, then it'll be even easier to pick it up or find out who it is. Now, this game is not here in the U.S.
It is not. It is not available, and you cannot buy it anywhere. But Tony, one of our lucky listeners could win a copy if they want one.
That's right, they can. I wonder if they can go out to our Discord channel, to a special Discord channel where you'll put in the link, or not the link, but say, hey, do you want to win this game? Put your thumbs up there, and Marty will then pick a winner.
Yep, that's it. So there's a contest section in our Discord channel. I'm just going to put a post. If you're interested in winning a copy of I can't even say the words, Uninvited Guest at a Wedding, go to our Discord channel, just hit thumbs up, and I'll randomly pick somebody and send it to you. Again, that was nice enough for those at the Mosaic game said, here's a copy. We know nobody can get it. But if you like it and your fans would be interested, the people who tolerate the show would be interested in winning a copy of this, then they can surely do it. Look, I think it's a very simple, light deduction game. And so, that's what it is at its core. And I know you aren't a big fan of deduction games, but at least this one's easy to use and it moves pretty quick.
And there's not a whole lot, and there's no accusations to it.
Correct. Now, it's funny. That's what Vanessa was worried about. She said, I hate it when I'm like the thief or the spy. I said, no. Everybody can accuse everybody else. So everybody's trying to secretly do something. It's not just one person now that's having to lie. Nobody's having to lie about anything.
No, you're simply looking at cards and trying to deduce which one are they based on, because they're trying to gather points so they can win at the end of the game. That's the game for them. But to try to throw you off, and come on. It's not hey, he's that one. No, don't be looking at me. You take a guess over there. You're not going to encounter. I don't think you'll encounter that in this game.
Nope. So again, if you're interested in winning a copy of Uninvited Guest at a Wedding, head over to our Discord channel and look for the contest entry.
5-minute initiative is complete.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kan du norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
I saved this game to talk about in the outro because it's actually a game that's in a video game. Did you ever play Witcher 3?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I have a copy of it. It's one of the. It's like the game. It's the video game shelf of shame. I've got God of War. I've got the next God of War. All these games that have good intention of playing, and to be honest with you, just have not done it. Just haven't sat down and wanted to invest the time in playing those types of games, including The Witcher. I have The Witcher, but I have not done it. Yeah, sorry. Long way of saying no.
So in the game The Witcher, there is a card game that you can play that's called Gwent. A physical copy of this game has been done by CD Projekt, which is the people who publish the video game The Witcher. And this is brought to us by Hachette. They had this at Gen Con. And our friend Bert, who is a huge Witcher 3 fan, I think he said he's put over 100 hours into the game, was super excited. So I said, here, you take the game and you come back and teach me. I will say this is a super simple 2-player game. The concept is this. You have a deck of cards based on a race. It's 30 cards. At the beginning of your turn, you're going to draw 10 cards. Those are the only 10 cards used the rest of the game. That's it. That's all you got to go with. So when you build your deck, you need to realize you're only going to draw a third of these into your hand. And then you're going to take turns going back and forth, playing onto a play area in front of you. And the cards can be... Now, I was excited about this and then got kind of disappointed. A card can be placed in a melee range, a mid-range, or long range based on the icon that's on the card. So I got super excited. Oh, Warcry, baby! So we got the melee people up front, and we got the guys in the back going, doo, 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 doo. And Bert's like, no, it's not like that at all. It's just where they can be placed on a row. It's like, oh, okay. Well, when you place the card down, there's a strength to it. And when you place it, you immediately track how much strength you have of your army in play. Now, there's a lot of little gimmicks that can go on. When I put this card into play, this will allow me to look through my discard pile and pull out another one of these matching cards and put it into play. And so you're going to be tracking your strength over time. Anytime you could say pass. Once both of you pass, whoever has the highest strength wins. Basically, you're going to do this up to 2 more times, and the best 2 out of 3 wins. But again, the kicker is you don't get to redraw cards. So if I use 5 cards in my first game, I only have 5 cards to use the last 2 games.
Ooh, okay.
So some of the strategy may be like, I don't think I can beat him this turn. I'm just going to pass and save my cards. So Bert was saying, yes, there's very much an economy of cards. If you can get ahead in the card count over your opponent, you have a better chance of winning.
As always, did you have fun?
Yes, I can understand playing this in a video game, how fun it would be, because in a video game, it does a lot of this tracking for you. There's some things like, okay, when I put this card into play, this row, everybody gets +1 point. Or if this card's into play, this card's doubled. So yes, your maths constantly having to be calculated along the way. So a computer will track all that for you. You manually have to do that, which could be kind of a pain. The production quality is kind of interesting. The art and the cards are amazing. The art on the cards are mwah. But they give you a paper play mat, which really doesn't work that great. And these little cardboard tokens for tracking your scores. I wish they would have charged $5 more and given like a neoprene mat or a cardboard. Just a cardboard player board to play on instead of the play mat. But anyway, you don't need to use a play mat at all. You just could have player zones in front of you. You don't even need to use the play mat if you don't want to. I will say for you and I, if you and I were like looking for a 2-player card game to play, we would probably pick something else besides this because it is so light. You and I definitely go more towards the heavier, especially if pre-constructed decks are involved. You and I are probably more into a heavier game than what this one is. But I think this is a good light game that you can just play with somebody, especially if both of you play Witcher. Then you can immediately just sit down and start playing without even having to look at the rules.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, maybe if I get there before everybody else, did you bring it back, or did you leave it with Bert?
I left it with Bert. I'm going to let Bert keep it because
Okay.
he's a big fan of the game, and he plays with his son too.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you got a chance to play it. I remember when the Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out, and there was that game in there as well, and I forget the name of that stupid runestone game that was in there.
And then we had a physical version of that we played.
Yeah, and it was okay.
Yep.
So yeah. But interesting. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got to play it and got to try it out. I mean, and from Bert's point of view, he said, I remember when he was talking to me about it, he said one of the biggest things he hates is the fact that it did not have the deck building that he's so used to in the game.
So, yeah. So what it is again, you have a big deck of cards. From that, there's a pre-con deck that you can just play with. He said those are kind of boring. What you want to do is take those big stack of cards and create your own 30-card deck to use. And then you can synergize with the different cards because you can have multiple copies of the same card, etc. So again, the value and fun of these games are building your own decks to come and play against somebody else and test against. And there's 5 different types of decks that you can play with, and all of them are a little different. Like there's a monster deck that's basically like a Zerg deck. Cheap monsters that come out that are really weak. Another deck that does heavy damage or does some deck manipulation or some digging through, or some extra card draw, stuff like that. So all of them are unique. And just basically you pick whichever faction you want to go with. And once you get away from the pre-cons, you can make it a little bit more interesting.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, good. Well, I hate I missed that.
Yeah. Again, it's a 10-minute game. It plays that fast. So it is one of those, if you ever want to try it, I've literally just told you the rules. You could sit and start playing. It's just that there are text on the card. You just need to understand what the text does, basically.
Okay. I think I can do that. I'm smart enough to figure that out. All right. I'm just trying to think. Was there anything else? It's been kind of a slow weeks, Labor Day, into the summer. Yep. Things have been just kind of chill, right?
Yeah, it has.
I will say this. I'm getting the yard ready for some aeration, baby.
Yep. Me too. I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen. They just kind of contact me, said, hey, we're going to come do it next week. Mm-hmm. Get your yard prep.
Get your yard prep, know what you need to do. I got this Bermuda grass crap that's growing in there. I had to go out there and kill that. And of course,
is that coming from your neighbors?
I think I'm the neighbor. I don't know where it came from, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I just think I think a guy who used to mow everybody's yard he came and I think he kind of spread it one time.
Yeah.
He denies it. And so the rest of us are having to deal with it. He says, well, there's not any other yards that I'm now dealing with. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. Either way, we're all dealing with it. That's fine.
Speaking of spreading it, did Ignacy ever say he'd make our T-shirt?
He did not.
Ignacy gave me syphilis at Essen.
I was hoping maybe Emily would reach out to us and throw something up on her Redbubble page. And we could just order it there. If she were to design it, I would order it off of her Redbubble page.
Oh, my gosh.
And if Chevy was going to Essen, I don't think he is, but if he was, or, I'd use some of our money from Rolling Dice, the pittance that we have in the account, I would probably ship them to Portal's warehouse.
Yeah.
And let the employees have it and let Mary know.
Wouldn't it be so funny if you could get Ignacy's portrait done in the art style of Bohemians? In that same style, but his face, and it just says, Ignacy gave me syphilis.
I mean, I think there's this thing called AI that can do that now.
Probably, but yeah. I don't know. I just think that's... Oh, that's funny. I would die if he did. He would never do it, but I would die. And people would buy it up.
Well, they're not as prudish as they are over here, so probably so. They would probably do it and get the gist of it. Oh, before we get out here and before I keep saying keep rolling dice, this is September, and September means Mega Moose Con here in the upstate of wherever the heck it is in South Carolina. So you'll be hearing about that. Our good buddy Mark Kell has the big Mega Moose Con getting ready to happen down in Richland, South Carolina. And every time I drive past that way on my way to my daughter's, it's I think I'm going to be there in a few weeks. I'm going to be there in a few weeks. Richburg. Not Richland. Richburg. That's it.
Yeah, so if you're interested, they still got tickets available. You can go out to megamoosecon.com. We're going to be there just hanging out, playing. We're going to do our annual RDTN auction, which is always fun. Mark is now a licensed auctioneer. He'll be able to run the auction for us, which is always a great time.
That's hilarious. We'll see how well he does. It may be a quick one. I was going over the ones that I want to clean out my closet from.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not that many.
I got a lot. I'll cover you. I'll cover you. It probably won't be.
You cover me.
That means combined, we probably have as much. Yeah, because I just keep going through my collection. It's like, how long has it been since I played this? Throw it in the pile. Every time I go downstairs, I grab one box to put in the auction.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to say, hey, look at all the games we got. It's just over the years, they've all games I've bought. Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I've got this Ticket to Ride Europe, right? I bought it.
Yep.
It was the anniversary edition. And I'm like, why? Donna's not playing this. If we play, we only play the regular one. So it's like, okay, that's going to go into the auction. And then there's some other railroad games that we're going to, I'm going to throw in there that I'm like, when am I ever going to get a chance to play these? I'll always hold on to this, but I'll never get to play these. So, yeah. Anyway. So, who knows? You may come to Mega MoosCon, come to the auction, and you could roll your dice and take away a few games.
And you could take our names. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening. Don't forget about our giveaway of Hey, y'all. Don't forget about our giveaway of uninvited guests for the wedding. Over at our Discord channel, which you can find on our website, rolldicefocus.com, along with all of our social media links.
Forgot to mention, I start PT for the tennis elbow next week.
That's better than surgery.
Absolutely.
Hey there. Hugh from Moderation here. If you like today's show, then why not have a listen to Why We Roll, the dedicated TTRPG design podcast. It's hosted by Wythe and Chris, two professional TTRPG designers, and it's all about talking to the people that make our favourite games in the tabletop world and understanding what goes into that decision-making process, how you build something that's not just fun to play, but fun to experience, and we're not talking about how we roll, but learning why exactly we make those decisions. Check it out on our website at podderation.com.